Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about how as a developer, your portfolio is your biggest asset. Alright, so last week I did a video called When a Client Wants to Code with You, which is about if you have a client that comes to you and they say, I want to help you in the coding department to do my app, and your answer should always be no, right? But there was a few really good questions that came out of that about how to actually find clients and find projects and stuff like that. There was a really good one by Aditya Mehta that was about that, and AX Gamesoft gave a really good answer, right? It was better than I could have given, right? And there was another one here by Arsad Rahman who said, where did you get the projects? Indie developer. I tried the freelancer website, but resulted no one giving me projects. And then MTST99 said, show your projects to the business owners. If they like it, you'll have a new project. And I think that's a great answer because it shows that your portfolio is really important when looking for work, right? This is something that I don't see enough of. When somebody comes to me looking for work, a lot of times they'll send me, sometimes this is companies, sometimes it's individuals, they'll send me like a load of Google Play links or iTunes links, right? And you go through them and they all have different developer accounts, right? Like they've only done stuff that they've been paid for, which is fine. I mean, that's what a job is, right? You don't expect a doctor to perform medicine like outside of doctor's hours. That's just that's the economy. But the really good people, the people that you're looking for, are the ones that will that are constantly producing, right? They're constantly they're coding, they're thinking about the technology. They do it because they're excited about it, and it's such a rare thing, right? Yeah, I like to call them, they're the players, right? So, and I think that probably most of you guys probably are too, because you're watching a video about you watch all these videos about app development, right, on your own time, right? Because you're interested in that, getting better, all this kind of stuff, right? If you ever worked in a software company, you know that there's some people who are just like, they're doing their job, they go home, they watch TV, they get up, they go back the next day, they do it, they say things like, how am I supposed to know what to do if nobody tells me, right? And then there's other people who are just like, they're constantly in there thinking how they can improve things, and they'll argue about like the technology side of things, like to the point where even the business owners will be like, okay, fine, do what you want. It's like, that's because we're going to do this thing right? And those are the kind of people that you want to work with, and that's also the kind that you want to demonstrate that you are, and you do that through your portfolio, right? I tend to think that a singer who does not sing, but would if you give him the opportunity, is not a singer. A writer who does not write is not a writer. A coder who does not code is not a coder, right? Despite the fact that if you pay them to do it, they'll do it, right? And I think that the really talented ones, the ones who are the ones that you like to work with, and the ones that are really excited about the technology, those are the ones you want to demonstrate that you are. And you do that through your portfolio, and you also could do that through, if you write blog articles or do videos or whatever, right? You're just showing that you're interested in technology and you're doing, you do more than the other people do, right? I think, somebody getting out of school now, like if I was just getting out of school now, like the advice I would give myself, like let's say I was cloned or whatever, I don't know, let's say I was cloned and I'm like, I'm 20 years old, getting out of, well, let's just have to be 22, getting out of university if I didn't go into the Army first, right? So, the advice I would give myself would be, start producing apps, start putting your own stuff out there. It won't be great, but you'll get better every time you do it. And when you go talk to, an employer, if they have to choose between somebody who's produced like a handful of apps or somebody who's just done really well in school, they'll go for the person who's produced a handful of apps. In fact, in this day and age, they may prefer the person who's produced those apps as opposed to someone who's worked in a job to produce apps, on a much slower scale, because they only do what they were told to do. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the matter. I think the portfolio is hugely important. A lot of the work we get is because of our portfolio, right? It's not because winning personality or anything like that. It's because we demonstrate that we can do what we say we can do, even if nobody's paying us to do it. Anyway, that's just my ideas. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments, right? A lot of people, I've heard people say, it's not right to expect people to code like when they're not at work, which is fine. But, I tend to think, the really good ones are constantly thinking about it. Anyway, that's it for today. I will talk to you guys tomorrow.